Shalom, everyone. I am Jay Dudley, and check out my shirt, my Tribe Up shirt from Sanctified Supply Co. Link will be down in the description so you can get your own to represent your tribe. But here today, talking about masculinity. I hear all of these things about toxic masculinity, what is masculinity, and as usual, go back to my favorite movie, Fight Club. When they were on the bus, they were looking at a Calvin Klein ad, wondering, is that what a man looks like? Well, as you can see me here, I guess because I have children, and I have the ultimate dad bod. Hey, got the bald head, the beard, and all that other stuff. I'm walking around right now at 314 pounds. Still want to get down to my fight weight at 265. That's more so for health reasons, not necessarily to compete. Please don't tell my wife about that, because she's concerned that if I do get down there to the weight, I'll look too skinny and I might think about fighting again. Don't tell her that. All right, this is a secret between you and I. Don't let her know, okay? All right, back to the video. Masculinity is something that's necessary, that's spoken about in the scriptures, that shouldn't be abused, but it should be respected. What people say that's toxic masculinity is not actually a masculine way to be in life. It's more so a feminine way to. Hey, there's a couple of squirrel, even though it's two cardinals flying past throughout the trees. Don't worry about that. I'm getting off subject here. Let's get the sun out of the shot. But toxic masculinity is more of a feminine trait, because I see it as males, not men, males that are chasing something that isn't necessary. Whether they're chasing vanity, whether they're chasing items, whether they're chasing women, they are on this chase that is not beneficial to them. So with it not being beneficial to them, it's not going to be beneficial to women. So then it's going to be this repetitive cycle of male meets female, doesn't care about female, just wants to impress female, to sleep with female. Female wants to impress male because she thinks that the only way to impress male is by sleeping with them. Then they pop up with a kid that neither one of them seem to care about, and then that indoctrination goes again throughout that child, and then that's what builds what people call toxic masculinity, at least in my opinion. So what I always felt as though that I should do is to lead by example. When I had my first son, I wasn't married. I didn't have a driver's license. I was street racing, ended up losing my driver's license, lost my job with Bell Atlantic, became a bouncer at a nightclub, all these different things. That's where I met his mother. If I would have been on the right track, if I would have been taught by my father that wasn't there, or my stepfather that was on that other side of where people will call toxic masculinity, especially with him not being married to my mother, it was leading a bad example for me. That what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just run the street, have sex with every female that I would try and attempt to? Well, that was my teenage years going into my 20s, where I said I no longer wanted to F for sport, and still started getting into that cycle of trying to figure out what it means to be a man. I had no definition or something to look at and say, because as soon as I started picking through the pieces, I would see the failures in people that I would think could be some type of role model for myself. So I couldn't find those role models, so I had to become that role model. I wanted to be athletic. I wanted to be a man of my word. I wanted to be able to stand up to my son and not disappoint him. And I also needed to give him rules and regulations on how to be and how to deal with stuff. You weren't getting gifts all the time. You weren't, if you were being disrespectful, you were going to be chastised. This wasn't going to be a laughing matter. Oh, he's a little kid. He said a bad word. Ha ha ha. No. And for me, the word what, yeah, and were bad words. So my older son, football, would get in trouble for saying what when he's responding to someone that called his name. Or if he was answering in the affirmative and said yeah or he would get in trouble. He would get on punishment, because that's unacceptable. I don't allow myself to say things like that. And I'm definitely not going to allow him to say things like that. So for that little bit of time on the weekends when I would have him, I would instill those things in him and wouldn't let him slide. Other people around him in my family were letting things like that slide, and that was unacceptable to me, because I had to try even harder. I didn't have him every day to be able to make sure that he's going down the right path, at least how I saw fit at that time. As I got older, I continued to make sure that he was growing up to be a respectable man, that he wasn't going around places mumbling when he talked to people, that he wasn't being someone that no one looked up to, not to be the center of attention and everything, or the life of the party, but I wanted him to emulate me as I tried to figure out what I needed to emulate. And becoming that, I saw as I got older what I was supposed to be emulating. And that was actually just a few years ago, when I started diving into the scriptures and understanding what a man of Yah is supposed to be. Well, that's what I was doing without the word backing me up. And I still had to figure that out and make sure that I was doing everything right. I wasn't celebrating these pagan holidays. I wasn't living a wild and crazy life. I wasn't drinking alcohol, wasn't smoking. I didn't go out to party and club. All I did was work and tried to make a better life for him, and also tried to better myself so that I can make myself a better man, so that one day I could be the head of a household and lead a woman the way that we should go. And I was able to actually achieve that with my wife, Noelle. And now I've been gifted another opportunity, not saying that I'm giving up on my older son, because I'm still working on him hard, and I want to get him out here to Oklahoma so that I can give him, I don't want him to have to go through the struggles that I did of what a man is and all of that stuff, because I hopefully have been that example to him. But now with my little chunk, Essex, I am going to be there every day to be able to guide him, to show him, and also have more brothers around me in my tribe to be able to say, I want to be exactly like them. I don't want to be like some musician. I don't want to be like I don't want to be like a movie star. I want to be a man of Yah. Oh no. Oh, it is still recording. Sorry about that. Had a low battery. But as I was saying with Essex, I want him to realize that the tribe that he's around, that's the example of what a man is, and that he would want to be just like me as I want to be like the Father. I want to be able to guide my flock and shepherd them to prosperity. I want to be able to have my words be heard and listened to, not through force, but through understanding, because I'm not trying to lead someone astray. That is the major key for me. Hopefully all of this makes sense. You understand my thoughts and theories on masculinity. If you want me to dive more into that, I can. Think that's about it. So I got a little bit distracted when the low battery thing came up. Hopefully everything's still recorded fine. I hope you all enjoyed your day and enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and shalom.